Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jackie if you're new. I am here in my other garden, not at my house, but my grandma's house. I have a few things that I plant here because this is where I kind of started a more established garden other than my back patio on our apartment floor. So I am here doing just a small little update because I haven't been here in several days. We did a lot of yard work on Tuesday, and today we came just to kind of finish a little few things, and I just wanted to update you on what's growing over here. So let me flip you around over here over here in this little kind of landscaped section, I've got a blueberry bush. I actually bought this 2 years ago, and it is real small still, but each year I get more blueberries on it, and they're just really for snacking. Obviously this tree isn't very big, so you can see there's blueberries all over, so that'll be exciting when they ripen. I've got over here a fig tree that is starting to put on a lot of good colored leaves, and we already have some figs. Got that one there. I've got one up here. Let's see, I've got one there, and I've got two up here. So I'm gonna watch this carefully and try to get as many figs off of here as I can. I love fig jam. So it's just going to be really good to have these figs this year. I've got my sage here that's doing really well. So I'll just keep this going in this pot. I had some zinnias in here and some lemon basil in here last summer, so I'll probably put some of that kind of stuff in this again. And of course I've got my rosemary in this pot and my mint over here that's doing well. And then back here is where kind of my main garden was. The garlic is still looking pretty good. This part, I did have two types of garlic in here, so you can see a big difference between the two sides. Oh my. Sorry, we just had a couple of squirrels fighting. There's a nest right there, and a couple of squirrels went at it. All right. So I've got two different types of garlic in here, and I have a note somewhere of which ones they were. This right side seems to be doing a whole lot better than this left side. Some of these are really kind of tiny still. 3 months. Let's see, I planted this in October, so I feel like it's coming up on the time to actually harvest garlic, but I'm gonna have to look again at the varieties that I did and how long it takes them. I know you're supposed to wait for the bottom leaves to start dying and then the rest of the plant follows. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this as the weeks go by, and hopefully we get some good garlic. But overall they're still looking good. But I hopefully we'll have a good harvest this year. And if you remember, we planted potatoes together, and I already have them sprouting. So look at all this nice foliage. So what I'm gonna do as they start to grow taller, like I could already do this one, I'm gonna just keep adding mulch up around the plant as it grows. And I'll just keep doing that since we didn't dig them in. Now, this one you can sort of see this potato, so I'm just gonna try to cover up what I can. I have more straw that I can use, but I'm not really prepared to get all that stuff out right now. So, but they are sprouting, so they look really good. These over here, not as many have sprouted. They're trying to catch up. I got a couple. So they're trying to catch up. This one looks like it's trying very slowly. And a couple of the potatoes haven't done that yet. I do have back here kind of a pill bug problem. I don't know if they like to eat anything off the potatoes. They definitely like moist soil, so I'll have to keep an eye on those. But really happy that they've started to sprout, so we'll just keep mounding up the mulch around it. But that is pretty much what I have back here. And let's see, our last frost date was technically, I think, around April 4th, so just a few days ago. I probably still won't plant anything out until maybe not next week, but the week after, because this week, let's see, today's Thursday. So in a couple of days, we're supposed to have temperatures at night down to like 37, 38, which is still too cold for planting my things out. I have been hardening them off outside throughout the day. We had 2 days this past, at the beginning of the week, that was like 84 for 2 days in a row. My plants were outside all day. So they've been getting used to the outdoor temperatures, but they still come in at night. So I won't put anything outside like that until probably another 2 weeks, actually. I will direct seed things coming up pretty shortly, but I'm going to wait at least until the end of next week to do anything like that. So that's what's going on at the moment. I will, once I get back to my house, I will update you guys on my seedlings there. They all look, for the most part, really good. I've had some issues with my tomatoes, but nothing that has killed them. They've just kind of struggled a little bit. So I'll walk you through that when I get back there. But I just wanted to update you guys on what's going on at this house. And we will see you guys when I get back to my place. All right, guys, I am back at my house now. I did a quick outfit change and I decided to go ahead and finish this video. So we are in the seedling room, and overall everything's looking pretty good. I've got a lot of things have germinated and are looking great. This is some mammoth basil. I've got other pepper plants in here that were a little behind. I've got other types of basil, lemon and lime. Some flowers. The flowers are looking great. Almost getting too big for these pots. I need to spread them out a bit. So just holding on until we can get everything outside without risk of damage. But everything's looking really good there. The next shelf are tomatoes, the eggplants. I've got a couple of the sweet peas in here. And if you notice, everything is at these bigger red Solo cups, or well, the party cups. I had to basically take all of my tomatoes out, repot them in some new soil, and put them in these bigger cups because I have some that are really tall now and ready to go outside. So I did that with all of my peppers, all of my tomatoes. And it's just because, if you could see here, a couple of these aren't doing great. They've lost a good bit of their lower leaves, which is okay, because when I would put them in the ground, I would take them off anyway and plant it, really deep. But they're looking really wilty and they're curling. And I'm trying to figure out if it's just inconsistent watering. I haven't kept these trays completely filled up with water all the time. I let the water absorb into the soil from the bottom. I don't water from the top. I let the water absorb, and then I fill it back up again when they start to look really dry. And so I thought that was it. I thought maybe it was the gnat issues. I still have a couple, but since I have repotted everything, I threw out the old soil. This is mostly some of the mushroom compost because I ran out of just the normal Fox Farms ocean soil, potting soil, and I just didn't go buy more. So I thought I could just use the compost until they would be able to go outside. And I still have a few gnats. They are looking much better besides these three. And it's the Atomic Fusion. I've got a Moonbeam and Brad's Atomic Grape, I think, are the three in here. Everything else seems to be doing okay. The okra is doing fine. I've got little cucamelons that have sprouted. Some of the peppers are still really small, but that's just because I have reseeded them a couple times, and so they're just going to be later, which is fine. We have a long growing season. Down here are all my cucumbers and squash, and they're looking pretty good for the most part. This one is struggling, but I'm hoping he's going to hang on. This is a Space Master cucumber, and he's struggling a little bit, but I feel like he'll pull through. I have a couple that haven't sprouted yet. They're trying to come up. They're just a little late. There's one back here that's gonna make its way up here in the next day or so. Another cucamelon back here. This is a homemade pickles cucumber. This big one is a watermelon, actually. That's that watermelon that we planted or started. So they're looking okay. Not 100% germination, but they grow really fast. So if the rest of these don't come up, I will just reseed them because they'll have plenty of time. Over here are the rest of the cucumbers and squash. They haven't sprouted yet. I have kept these trays wet with water at the bottom, let it soak up. I have put water on the tops a little bit, so they still have time. And then I've got my peppers here, which are looking pretty good. I've got some eggplant in here. This is an eggplant. They have really fuzzy leaves. If you've never grown an eggplant, these leaves are very fuzzy. But they are looking much better now that I've got them in these big cups. Couple of leaves, and it looks like just the eggplants are a little rough looking, but overall the plant is nice and green. I have been using the fish Neptune's Harvest fertilizer once a week still, just putting a little bit in the bottom of the tray and then filling the rest up with water. So I've still been fertilizing them, and I bought this rack at Walmart because I just needed more space. And I got one extra light to put down here, but I need some lights to go up here. But even if I put a light, it wouldn't leave much space for these guys. So I've just been taking them outside in the sunlight for pretty much all day the last several days, and that seems to be doing okay for them. These tomatoes I don't consider them leggy because they look really good. They're just ready. They're ready to go in the ground. So I am just holding out, hopefully long enough until I can get them outside without risk of stunting them or any kind of damage at all if it gets colder. So they are looking much better now that I've put them in these cups. I had come in one day and they were wilty, droopy, just looking really sick looking. And I had water in there. It's not like I let them dry out completely or anything. They had water, and I had been fertilizing. They just looked really bad overnight. And so I just chalked it up to the gnats, I guess. I probably should have done that vermiculite like someone had mentioned in the comments, and I just ended up not going to grab it. But anyway, that's where we're at. They are looking mostly good. The only one that I'm kind of like, is this really how it's supposed to grow, is the Warakawi dwarf tomato. The leaves are constantly curly looking, and overall the plant's pretty healthy. The bottom couple leaves were a little yellow, but it's, you know, a short stocky plant, being a dwarf tomato. And when I grew it the first time in my veggie pod last year, before we moved here, it looked the same. So I think this is how the plant actually looks, because it's the exact same as when it was in my veggie pod. They're really curly. It looks like an unhealthy tomato plant, but it's a great color, lots of new growth. So I guess that's just how it looks. So overall, I'm very pleased with how everything's doing. Every year I end up buying some started plants from the local farmer's market, and they it's just because, you know, without fail I always have one or two or a few that don't make it for me, and if I want more of a certain type of tomato, they usually have it, and I'll always buy started plants, so at least a couple every year. So I'm not worried. I have a feeling they're going to do really great this year if they can just hang on another week or two to be able to get outside. So out front, I've just moved my citrus tree out on the porch, my aloe plants out here. This is some bouquet dill that is popping up nicely, growing pretty well. So I'm excited for that. Of course, I got all these flower bulbs that are coming up. These should be dahlias, these few right here, because I think I did all my dahlia tubers right here along the back, and then all these other big things. There's a couple of weeds, but that stalk right there, these patches, that little thing, these are all flower bulbs that I planted, just kind of a mix, echinacea, a couple things I never even heard of, but it's supposed to be a pollinators mix, all of these big plants. So they're doing pretty well. I've got, I think these are lilies that were here when we moved in, this corner and this corner over here. They're popping up again. I actually thought I tore all of it out because they looked really diseased and just kind of ugly when we moved in. And they've come back and they're really pretty now, so I'm gonna leave those. And I don't remember, I think they're some sort of tiger lily. So the front bed's looking okay. There's still a couple of little weeds, you know, around the area, but I've kind of left them because I'm not a huge fan of weeding, but hopefully all these flowers will fill out and kind of take care of those. Ooh, it's windy. The flag's hanging on for dear life. So it's actually kind of cold here today. It's only, well, I guess for me anyway, it's mid 50s, low 50s. Very, very windy because we had a storm come through a few days ago, just lots of rain and wind. And the temperature was nice in the 80s then for several days, sunny, really nice. And now this front's come through. We're supposed to have kind of decent weather the next couple days, but the nights are going to get cold again to about 37, 38. So, excuse me. So it's just really windy today and a little chill in the air. I don't have much in the back other than the dill that was put right here. None of the cilantro sprouted, which, oh, actually, now that I've said that, I might have one coming up. So I've been watering the pods just every so often, and I still have carrots that try to make their way up, which is fine, but I've got some dill here. I don't have anything in this pot. I had tried some spinach, but The seeds I have are very old, and I did get quite a bit of spinach right here kind of over the winter, but I'm probably not going to try to redo spinach just because it's going to be getting warmer. But I do have my peas that are in here. I've got some more. This was parsley at the bottom. I've got some more that started to sprout. I did a bunch of seeds all the way around of more parsley. The peas are still looking good, albeit very small. They are dwarf peas, so I guess I just don't know how small they are supposed to be, or how small they will be in this green stalk. But they're really cute. They're looking pretty good, and I have been fertilizing the tower. Been trying to keep it rotated so that each area gets a good amount of sun when it's out. But overall, they're looking pretty good. I've got parsley popping up all around the bottom here. Again, I did cilantro in this other row right above, but none of that's popped up, so it could just be the seeds. They are really old. And then, don't mind all the dandelions. We haven't mowed back here since last summer, last fall. We did go around and weed whack the edges because we'd had a lot of rain for a couple days. And I came through and picked a ton of dandelions, thinking I would use them for probably some dandelion jelly, but I didn't pick nearly enough. And you have to pretty much use them as soon as you pick them because they wilt very quickly, and I'm not really familiar with how to use dandelions in jelly or anything. I didn't really have a recipe I was prepared to follow, but as you can see, we have a lot more. And I've just been leaving them because we still have a lot of bees that come out, and since I don't have anything for them to get nectar from, I've just left the flowers because they love the dandelions. So my asparagus is here. As you can see, it's already starting to flower again. I've got this little one that's popped up. I did put some fresh compost in this bucket to kind of give it a boost, a couple inches of that. So hopefully that will encourage more growth with asparagus. Nothing in here still. That's the old broccoli. I do have what looks like more, broccoli, cauliflower plants trying to grow again, but I just pulled them out. These are leeks that I got. They were like $2 at the seed store downtown because it was the last that they had. And so I just thought I would put those in here and try to grow some leeks for the first time. Of course, that's old broccoli. I still got my thyme, and my kale is coming back. So I probably should make something with this kale since it decided to try to grow again. I've got my onions. They're looking good. And the garlic here, which I actually pulled up one bulb of garlic the other day, and this is what it looked like. Hopefully you can hear me with all this wind, but this is what the garlic looked like, because I thought now would be about the time that you could start harvesting garlic because it's been in since October, but this came out of that bucket. So it could be because it was right next to this one. It literally was like right there. So it could be because it was so close it didn't have room to grow. But I'm going to just keep fertilizing these and watering them and let them go a little bit longer. I know they're supposed to get pretty big. I haven't seen any garlic scapes or anything, so I'm probably just really early trying to harvest them. So that is that. Just a couple more weeks of this cooler weather. hopefully at least at night, and I will be able to put out all my plants. So once we have some warmer days again, we'll get this mowed down in the back, and I will put up my cucumber there trellises, or at least the the T-posts and things. I will put those up for some of my cucumbers. I will amend the rest of the garden beds that I've got, tear out the old broccoli and stuff like that, amend those, and nail down where exactly everything's gonna go. But we just gotta wait another week or two. So my flowers are still surprisingly doing pretty good. You can see I've got some purples and whites, reds over here. These guys, I've never done great with snapdragons, but it is what it is. I'm trying out the flowers again. So my hosta is coming back pretty strong, which I'm real excited about. And that is all I've got. So I thought I would just do a quick little tour since it's been, I guess, a couple weeks since my last video. And I was over at the house today, so I thought I would start there with the potatoes and what's growing over there. And that's all I got. So thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope your weather is starting to warm up for all of you. It's almost there. It's almost warm enough to put everything out. So just hang on another week or two. I'm in growing zone 8A. So if you're anywhere near me, you still got another week or two to hang on. If you're in colder climates, I'm sorry. Unless you like that sort of thing, I'm definitely ready for summer. So thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys in the next video. Give this a thumbs up if you can for me. And we will see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.